Wherein lies the problem? You know, for most of us, there is a big difference. Webster does a good job defining truth. He says it's fact. It's fact that's in agreement with actuality. And that's an important part to remember, in agreement with actuality. Another definition is certainty. It's reality. It's things that are really true in the whole sense of the word. But in order to understand true and false, we have to understand morality. Morality is even more important, because most of us think of morality as maybe good and evil, or right and wrong. But in this day and age, we're having a difficulty with morality. What happens is we're seeing a culture that thinks the end justifies the means. We're seeing it everywhere. We see this when people take a test. The whole purpose of the test is to pass it, is to be the winner. So guess what? Cheating has become big. Why? Because they think that that justifies the end. It's a large problem with our culture. When you think of good versus bad, think of how much lying we see nowadays. Think of how many times you know people are not telling the truth. It's difficult. And in our society, we need to realize that lying is becoming the norm. Now, I won't talk about politicians, and I won't talk about politics, but let's just take the normal things, okay? It's hard for us to distinguish what's true, what's false, because there's so many gray areas out there. Take the word gray. Have you ever looked it up in the dictionary? Is it spelled G-R-A-Y? True or false? Is it spelled G-R-E-Y? True or false? Or does it depend on what country you live in, how you spell it? When you get home, look it up in the dictionary. You'll be surprised. Depends on where you live. When we look at these things, we realize there are many shades of gray. And a lot of times, that definition is so important because what we see is the area is foggy. There is a little game I like to play with the kids, especially when I'm doing Sunday school. The younger kids, I'll ask them, do you know your numbers? Can you add 4 and 4? Yeah. 6 and 6? Yeah. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many fingers do you have? And they'll say 10. And I'll say, no, you have 11 fingers. And they'll look at me, and they know they got 10 fingers. I said, no, I'm going to prove it to you. Are you good with math? Math doesn't lie, does it? Count your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. How much is 5 and 6? And they'll look at me. You see, math is true. They know 5 and 6 are 11. So remember about that. Also, truth, facts, and reality. They know they only have 10 fingers. I love to watch the little ones because they're confused. They know 5 and 6 are 11. They know they have 10 fingers. Well, our problem in society right now is we're listening to too many people that tell us we have 11 fingers. And we're not calling them on it. You see, truth becomes a matter of what degree. It's like that gray, the E-Y or A-Y. I look and I realize that morality has changed so much. Let's look at competition. Competition out there. You ever look at all the advertising? Now, you don't want to say the advertisers are liars, but most of us call it false advertising. We also know that things we see in that advertising just can't be true. Or sometimes it's true here, it's true here, and it's true here. I'll give you a good example. I have a certain juice I like for breakfast. It's advertised on sale. Normally $3.49. I can buy it for $2.99. But next week it's on sale for $2.79. Guess what? I saw it for $2.39. I'm Scotch Irish. I buy it when it's $1.99. The question is, what's the true value of that juice? How much is it really worth? You and I see it all the time. We have, the bank says, I'm your friend. The bank's my friend. When I give them my money, they give me 2%. When they give me their money, I pay 22%. My friend? Yes. It's easy for us, a lot of times, to excuse it. And in our society, we're overlooking the truth so many times. I want you to think of a couple things. One, this is the best of times, but it's also the worst of times. I always go back to the Bible. The Bible says the truth will set you free. True or false? Are you free? Mr. Toastman.